after his kind. This after his kind is it's it's in this Bible 16 times after his kind. 16 times after his kind. Um, yeah. And God saw that it was good. Let's jump down to 21. And God created the whales and every living creature that moveth, which the water brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every wind fowl after his kind, and God saw it that it was good after his kind. But I like also number 22, verse number 22 in Genesis 1. It said, God blessed them, saying, be fruitful, multiply, fill the waters in the sea, and let the fowls multiply in the earth. Now, on the fifth day, and God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind. After his kind. Cattle, creeping things, the beasts of the earth after his kind. See, there it is again. And it was so. After his kind. And 25, it says, and God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and God saw it was good. After his kind. So, men, I'm trying to get us to understand that we are important. That's why I had to say something to that bishop, and he understood, and the way I respected him, he understood everything I said, because I think it was wrong for him to do that, and from that time on, I noticed when I was around him a lot of them women were disrespecting their husbands, and you know what? Let me take you to the scripture too. Hold on, I just got another one. I just got another one. Uh, uh, um, uh, let's see. Do y'all remember Vashit? I think it's Vashit. Let's see here. Somebody's texting me, and I'm gonna ignore because I gotta get this out. It's not let me. Let me see if it. And Esther. Yeah, Esther. That's what it is. I spelled it wrong. I want to say this now. I'm going to read verse Esther chapter 1, verse 9. Also, Vashti, the queen, made a feast of the women. Let me bring it up. Hmm. My. This is when I mean that when King Ahasuerus was calling for his wife to come up because he wanted to bring her before them. and she wouldn't come. She wouldn't come. He sent forth his servants to go get her. I'm going to read verse Esther chapter 1, verse 9. It says, and also Vashti the queen made a feast for the women in the royal house which belonged to King Ahasuerus. On the seventh day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Melhuman, Bazar, or Hermanon, Bithar, I don't know all how to say all these, um, that served in the presence of King Ahasuerus to bring Vashti, the queen, before the king with the crown royal to show the people and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on. But get this right here. This shows the disrespect right here. But the queen, Vashti, refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth when he was angry, and his anger burned in him. Then the king said to the wise men which knew the time, for so was the king's manner towards all that knew law and judgment. Now now early in that scripture, I brought forth how she already made a feast for the women in the royal house, which it belonged to the king of Ahasuerus. Now that's his wife. That's his wife, and she did not want to obey him and come to. But he was trying to bring forth her and bring her for the people, and she didn't want it. Now, I hope y'all see the disrespect in that. In the, King has, and she made a feast, so she had a sisterhood meeting trying to go against the king. Now, now the king. In verse number 15, what shall we do unto the king of Vashti according to law? Because she had not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains. And I don't know how to say me Mokan, McCann answered before the king of the prince of Vashti, the king has not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in the providence of the king of Ahasuerus. For this deed, now listen to this, for this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands. Listen at that. So this proves that the disrespect was already on, been going on for a long time. Look at Rebecca. Rebecca. Y'all remember Rebecca, what she did? Let's look at Rebecca, what she did. Okay, good. Remember what Rebecca did? How she tricked Isaac to give her birthright, to give his birthright to Esau instead of Jacob. Yeah. These, I'm bringing up, okay, let me see. Let me find that scripture. I know it's right here somewhere. Um, I think it's in Genesis chapter 25. Yes, it is. It's chapter 25. But in 24, we're going to read chapter 24 and verse 67. And Isaac brought her unto his mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. He loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Now we're going to go to, let's see. Here it is right here. Now remember, Isaac was um, the chosen child for Sarah and uh, Abraham. Okay, and here in verse number uh, Genesis chapter 25 and verse 20, and this is where it started off at. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, Sarah, the Paranon, and then Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. Now listen to this. Isaac went before God because Rebekah was barren and she could not bear a child. Now you see the importance that men have. That a man can go to God and pray for his wife. And I have done that with my wife before. When she was sick, I lay before God. I lay before God so she would not get sick. She had gallstones, and they was tearing her up. I prayed every night on her. I took that oil, that blessed oil, and laid it on her stomach, and I commanded that she be healed. You hear me? I commanded that she be healed. And she was healed. Because when she went to surgery, they got that gallbladder out of her, and she was not to eat no greasy food for a long time. But after I prayed with her every night until she had that surgery, she was able to eat greasy food that day and nothing happened. And she's been healthy ever since that time. Verse 21, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, "It is, if it be so, why am I thus?" And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, Two nations, two, two nations are in thy womb, and the two manner of people shall be separated from the bowls, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And she when her days to be delivered was fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red of over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. After that came his brother out, and he and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was three score years. 3 score years means three times 20. So that's 60. 60 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew. Esau was a cunning hunter and man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in the tent. And Esau loved, and I'm sorry, and Isaac loved Esau because he did eat out of his vintage, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Y'all hear that? Now, this can happen in a marriage. This can happen in a family that that the father could love the firstborn, and while the wife could love the secondborn. These two were twins. Okay? And Esau said unto Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with the same red portage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. Now listen to this. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to death, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? Y'all listen to that? And read those three verses again, 30, 31, and 32. Hope y'all get something here. Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with the same red portage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. Who had the birthright first? Esau. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point of to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me? Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. And then Jacob gave Esau bread and portage of Lydians, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way, and thus Esau despised his birthright. Ain't that something? He despised his own birthright. So I'm saying all this to say this. Now you see the correlation about when men are disrespected in the home. I showed you 2 times. No, wait a minute. Let me show you this one too. Let me show you this one. All right, let's get there.